What's up, Reds? Welcome to another Sunday Summary. I'm your host, Kyle. And we're trying out the live stream, okay? Hopefully it's not too too rough for y'all. But let me know in the chat whether or not it's, the stream is good quality or not. But it looks pretty laggy at this point, but just let me know. So today we're going to get into some things, okay? So Harvey Elliott came out, apparently rejected Madrid, so we'll get into that. Ousmane Dembele, some rumors there. But of course, the big news is the league is back. June 17th is the date, and it looks like we'll be playing June 20th at Goodison, potentially winning the league. We'll see what happens there. So we'll get into it. So June 17th is the date. Right, that's the date everything comes back. Now, what the Premier League looks like they're going to do is they're going to, I guess, play back-to-back games, right? So the idea with this is to get as many games in as possible and finish out the season in a safe way, okay? So, again, let me know how the stream is. It looks kind of laggy, but just let me know. So, I'm pumped, guys. I've been waiting for this for so long. I know every Liverpool fan around the world has been waiting for us to lift the trophy, and it's just gonna be awesome. Imagine if we can actually win it at Goodison. You know what I mean? That's just gonna be fantastic. So, yeah, Doug, thanks, man. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to not make it laggy. I think it's just my upload speed, but yeah, from what I'm seeing, the video looks a little laggy, but it's not nearly as bad as what it was before. So I'll try to figure out what's going on here. But yeah, so June 17th we kick it off, and we play Everton June 20th at Goodison. Now, if we can win it at Goodison, how much of a slap in the face would that be to Everton? I mean, 30 years with Liverpool without the title, and then just all of a sudden, boom. We just win it at Goodison. I mean, that's just storybook for me. You know what I mean? Yeah, Doug, let me know what you think. What do you think about that? I think it's just poetic justice that we end up winning it at Goodison, hopefully. Now, that is, of course, if Man City lose to Arsenal, I believe is who they play. But, that remains to be seen. I don't think they'll end up losing. I think Arsenal's defense is in shambles, and Man City is just still a dominant force. So we'll see what happens. But moving into the news, so some transfer rumors, right? Still bouncing around, making their rounds. The newest one this past week, we had Shaqiri linked with Newcastle, right? So I was doing some podcasts earlier this week, and I was also, talking about how he could fit into Newcastle and all that stuff. And I think really, if we don't end up signing someone, we should probably keep Shaqiri. I know he's very injury prone and things like that, but when it comes down to it, we need the depth, and if we don't bring someone in, or we don't have, someone who's ready to play in the first team, like a Harry Wilson or something like that, then it's going to be tough to fill that role, because Salah's going to eventually need a rest. We're obviously going to play the young guys in the EFL Cup and all that kind of stuff, but I think the big thing is depth. We need it. When we're going to be competing for every possible trophy, we need the depth. So with Shaqiri being linked to Newcastle, from an unbiased point of view, right? Obviously, we need the depth. But let's look at it from strictly a business standpoint. I think we got him for what, 12, 13 million, right, from a relegated Stoke. So if we end up going and giving him or selling him to Newcastle, right, I think it would be great for Newcastle because Newcastle is struggling to put the ball in the net. So, and I think it would be good for Shaqiri. I think Shaqiri could really excel at a club like Newcastle, you know what I mean? But of course, his history, he's got some attitude issues. You know what I mean? He's got some disciplinary issues, and I think Klopp really helped with that. So, I don't know, they may need the right coach in there for Shaqiri to excel at Newcastle. But then again, he's linked with La Liga. I think his style of play could fit extremely well in La Liga. But let's look at what Doug said here. Who knows what City or Arsenal will be like, but imagine the uproar if City lost to Arsenal to then beat Everton, which is likely to be at neutral venue. Yeah, I don't know if City losing to Arsenal would be a huge deal for the league. It would be huge for us, right? I think, to be honest with you, I think that'd be a huge step for Arsenal because, and Doug, you could probably agree with me here, Arsenal are struggling. they may still be competing for that, for a spot in Europe, but their attack is sorted out. They haven't really figured out the chemistry, but you can't deny that Aubameyang, Lacazette, and Pepe. They're a deadly trio up there. When they're all playing in the same at the same time, but they don't have any chemistry. But their defense is horrible. I mean, Mustafi, when they brought him in, they thought he was going to be something special. He's trash. The Greek guy, can't remember his name right now. He's Socrates. Not very. I mean, he's good, right? But not very special. You got Hector Bellerin. You got some young guys in Saka and all that. But I don't see Arsenal beating City. No chance. City has way too much talent. And I think Laporte's back healthy now. I could be wrong there. But, yeah, I mean, the whole thing is I've seen a lot of people saying with Liverpool lifting the trophy, it's going to be at, there's going to be no fans, so it won't be that great. But just think about the fact that when people look back in history, of course, they'll see Liverpool won it in that year. And they'll know that it was during the pandemic and everything, but it doesn't matter. Still number 19. You know what I mean? So, Arsenal defense is absolutely shocking. I can see City beating Arsenal, sadly, but I would love to if City lost. Oh, believe me. I would completely love it if City lost. No question in my mind. Zero. I hate City, right? I don't hate City fans, but I do hate City. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't really like Arsenal too much. If I had to pick a club that I have a soft spot for, it's probably Chelsea, to be honest with you. I don't know what it is. I don't know. Maybe it's the stadium. I think Stamford Bridge is it's a cool little stadium. But yeah. So let's move from that. I mean, obviously it's going to be exciting to watch all the games. It's going to be exciting to watch the boys play Everton. But let's move into the transfer news. So we talked about Shaqiri a little bit. So this makes me happy. I read an article that apparently Harvey Elliott back when he played for Fulham, I think Madrid were trying to sign him. And essentially they offered him, because the kid was 16 at the time, they essentially offered him the chance to meet Sergio Ramos and then sign for him. And he said, no, I don't want to do that after what he did to Salah. And man, if that doesn't make you happy as a Liverpool fan, I don't know what will, because when Sergio Ramos did that to Salah, not only did I think it was intentional, it looked intentional, but it's just a dirty play, man. And I look at it from 2 points. I look at it from 2 points of view. You look at it from the point of view, you got to do anything to win. You know what I mean? Sergio Ramos is a successful footballer. There's no question. He's going to do whatever it takes to win. But you look at it from the neutral point of view and you think, or from the Liverpool point of view, and it's that's a dirty play. You know what I mean? That's just, you don't do that. You compete. You fight. You don't injure players or try to injure players, but at the end of the day, they won it. Can't really say anything about it, but Harvey Elliott standing up for him like that. Who knows if it's true, but I like to believe that everything I read that's positive about Liverpool is true, so I'm going to believe in it. But yeah, man, it's pretty interesting stuff. But talking about Harvey Elliott, this kid's going to be special. And you're right, Doug, 100% hero, Harvey Elliott. The kid is going to be special. There's no question about it. He is 17, I believe. He signed a new long-term deal, or I think a 3-year deal with Liverpool. Could be wrong about that, but kid's special, and I can see him becoming like a Salah in the future, right? I think Harvey Elliott has more creativity than Salah. Salah, in my opinion, Salah's strictly an attacking player, strictly final third. I feel like Harvey Elliott can fill in that midfield spot and really create, but of course he's quick and small and he can play on the wing. We saw against Aston Villa. Even though we got smacked, I mean, he played well, and you can see the talent is there. And the fact that he's so young is so encouraging. You know what I mean? So encouraging. What I don't want to see happen is what happened to Ben Woodburn. Ben Woodburn was 18, and he was making appearances. He was doing excellent for us. He had goals and everything. And then all of a sudden, the man, he flopped. He went on loan to Oxford United after a poor loan spell. I think it was at Sheffield United, and he was struggling. You know what I mean? So the future looks bright for the kid, though. Man, I just can't wait to see that kid flourish. And kind of snowballing off that, with Harry Wilson coming back after this season from a loan at Bournemouth. You guys think? Let me know in the chat or the comments section. Let me know what you think. You think he's going to eventually get a starting spot? Let me know. Let me know what you guys think. So let's move on. The big news I saw, Ousmane Dembele. Let's get into that. Okay? Look. Klopp has been an admirer of the guy for a while. We know that because I remember there was a press conference where a reporter brought up to Klopp, like, hey, Ousmane Dembele, like, would you go after him? And Klopp said, is he available? He didn't know he was available. We don't even know if he's still available. All I know is that he's been at Barcelona since his transfer from Dortmund, and he hasn't really done much. The talent is there. It's unmistakable. You can 100% see the talent. But think about what that would mean. It's a lot of money. I'm pretty sure. What did Barcelona bring them in for? 150 million? That's a lot of money. It's a lot of freaking money. And Barcelona have been known to splash the cash, and then their players are trash, right? Coutinho, namely. And I don't know. It's interesting. I don't think this has any legs at the moment. I could see us scouting him. There's no question in my mind. We're probably scouting him. We're probably scouting a lot of players, including Koulibaly, but that doesn't mean we're going to make a move for him. You know what I mean? Let me know what you guys think about Ousmane Dembele. Personally, from the highlights I've seen, and this is going to sound stupid, but I'm going to bring it up anyway. From what I've played with him on FIFA, the guy is incredible, okay? But the thing is that does he still have a role to play at Barcelona? You know what I mean? Is he a role player there? Is he a potential future starter? We don't really know. We don't really know what the deal is. So I think Klopp is probably just going to monitor the situation. He's still extremely young. I'm not positive of his age, but I know for a fact he's not older than 25. So Doug says 135 million is available for 40 million, 95 million pound loss. Barcelona want him gone. He's very injury prone. I do know he's injury prone. And I do know that his attitude isn't the best either. I know that he was fighting with players at Dortmund during training. So, with that in mind, the kid is still talented, right? He kind of reminds me of a Sancho, right? He's got all this flash and he's young, but he doesn't fit the attitude profile that Klopp looks for. You know, a player that's just going to put their head down and work for the team. You know what I mean? I just don't think that he's the kind of player that Klopp wants. But you can't stop the links, right? The clicks. Everyone wants the clicks. And now that the league is coming back, everything is going to be headlined with Liverpool because everyone wants to talk about Liverpool because they're going to win the league for the first time in 30 years. You know what I mean? And that's another thing I noticed. All the articles I read, most of the articles I read about the Premier League, a lot of the pictures they put in the article are just Liverpool pictures of Van Dijk and Salah and everything because they know that it drives clicks. And I love that. But at the same time, it makes me a little salty because everyone's just taking advantage of how good Liverpool are. But I digress. But yeah, back to what you were saying, Doug. You don't want him at the club? Completely fair. I can't blame you for not wanting him at the club. It's the same reason I don't want Sancho at the club. I have no desire to put Sancho at the club, to be honest with you. I think he's too flashy. I don't think he fits the player profile that Klopp wants. Now, listen, that's not to say that if he does transfer here, Klopp couldn't change him and work on his attitude. Good example, in my opinion, is Shaqiri, right? We knew Shaqiri had disciplinary issues, but once he came to the club, Klopp kind of straightened him out. You didn't really hear much from him as far as attitude issues. Same thing with Sturridge. Something I just randomly thought of. Imagine if Balotelli was at the club when Klopp was here. I wonder how that would have worked out. Because Balotelli's attitude was horrible. Absolutely horrible attitude. So, it's interesting. Let me know what you guys think about all that in the comments and in the chat as well. Last thing I want to bring up on today's stream, it's going to be a shorter stream just because it looks like it's a little laggy. I'm going to try to figure it out. My dropped frames are only 0.9%, which is actually the lowest it's ever been for me. So it's actually probably the highest quality stream I have. But yeah. So Timo Werner, right? We're not looking to make the release clause. And I spoke about this on the recent podcast I did with Yanks of the Cop. Go check that out, Yanks of the Cop. Good podcast, good stuff over there. My buddy Steve and his brother Andrew run that podcast. Now, we were talking about Timo Werner and Liverpool not wanting to meet the release clause or discontinuing their interest in him. And it's a tactic. I'm not going to say I'm 100% sure. I'm going to say I'm probably 70% sure. We saw this with Van Dijk and we saw this with Alisson are the two main ones that I noticed, where we were pursuing a player and they wanted a certain price and we just said, no, we're not doing that. That's way too high. And we put that out there publicly. So I think this is another tactic to get Timo Werner. Because when you think about his release clause, what is his release clause? I've heard so many different numbers, but I think it's like 52 or 53 or 54, I don't know, something like that. And then if they don't win the league, it drops down. But I think they did win the league. I actually don't know. I don't know. But the thing is, he needs to come to Liverpool. If there's one player that I need to see in this team, it's Timo Werner. He is the only player that I know of that can fit that Klopp style. Only player, right? And for the false nine position, I mean, because he can also play on the wing and everything. Because Origi can't do it. Who knows if Rhian Brewster can do it? He's too young. We haven't really seen enough of him. Firmino needs a backup. Firmino's been very lucky. He's very durable. He may have a calf injury every now and then. Someone may poke his eyeball out. But, honestly, he doesn't really get injured too often, knock on wood. Okay, so for me, as long as we have a backup player that can fit into Firmino's role, I'm okay. But we've also seen that we can perform without a backup Firmino. We've seen that. So it doesn't really matter too much at this point. I think Klopp just wants the versatility in that position because during that January-February time frame when we're playing so many matches, things get tough. You know what I mean? Things get tough as far as managing injuries, making sure every player's rested for the game. And, that things happen. Look at the Barcelona game when we were, second leg. We were playing Shaqiri, Origi, and Mane up front. So things like that happen. Even though we still won, things like that happen. So let me know what you guys think. We talked about Shaqiri going to Newcastle potentially. Harvey Elliott, absolute legend, right? And then Ousmane Dembele, good points made by Doug here. Yeah, it's a toss-up in the air. He's a player that falls in the same category as Sancho for me. I just don't know if he fits the attitude profile that's Klopp's looking for. And then, of course, the Timo Werner news. Let me know what you guys think about that. And, of course, the league is coming back, guys. The league is coming back. And this is the most exciting time. I literally cannot wait to see the boys walk onto the field, whatever field it is, and just destroy Everton. I just want to see him destroy Everton. Regardless if we win the league that day, I just want to come back to a solid 5-0 victory at Goodison. Just to hear the crowd. Oh my gosh. There's going to be no crowd. But I just want to see him destroy Everton. So thanks for joining me on this live stream. I apologize about the quality of the video, the little delay. I'm glad the audio was good, so if you guys can just listen to it, that's perfect. But thanks again. Shout out to Doug, the Dugout Football channel. Go ahead and subscribe over there. He does FIFA content. He does live streams, all sorts of cool stuff if you guys are into FIFA, and also Liverpool Football Club. He does some stat shows as well, just talking about stats, various teams and players. So go check him out. Thanks again, guys. Hope you guys have a good Sunday.